Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3 is almost here, and we've got posters, a synopsis, episode titles, and some wild new theories to break down. Let's warp in and decode what's coming next. Well, hey everyone, I'm Nick, and welcome back to Sci-Finatics. Well, today we've got some new news about Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3. We've got some cool new promo posters to take a look at. We've got a new synopsis for the season, and we've also got the episode titles for all 10 episodes of Season 3 to check out and speculate which episodes we're going to be getting in which order based on what we've seen from the trailer and everything from the show. So we're going to go through that today, take a look, break it down, and see what we can learn about the new season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3. It has been a very lean year for Star Trek news, and Paramount have been very hush-hush when it comes to releasing new promotional imagery, whether that be information or visuals, such as photos, trailers, that sort of stuff, about the new season of the show, not to mention new upcoming Star Trek series like Starfleet Academy. But I'm guessing they're maybe holding some stuff like that off until Comic-Con in July. But let's take a look at this new stuff for Strange New Worlds Season 3 and see what it's all about. So for starters, I like the style of these new posters. Having just done a deep dive in the Deep Space Nine episode, Far Beyond the Stars, David covered that one just recently. If you haven't seen that video, it's a great one to check out. Click up here and you can check that out. But the style of these posters is kind of in keeping with that kind of pulp sci-fi of the sort of 1950s almost. So there's a lot of the covers and designs and everything which we went through from the Incredible Tales office from that Far Beyond the Stars episodes. And I kind of feel like there's like maybe a little bit of, you know, that sort of, I guess, 1950s pulp sci-fi kind of novella kind of style maybe about these posters. The first one shows Pike and Number One. They're on the surface of some strange new world, and we've got some weird things in the background. We've got some large sort of spherical artifact kind of things of some kind. It looks like we've got some sort of temple that they're investigating on a planet that has 2 moons, and a statue of some sort of ancient warrior that's fallen to the ground and is all cracked and everything. So it appears like they're going to be investigating some ancient ruins of some ancient civilization from the looks of the background imagery and so forth of this promotional poster. In our next promo image here, we've got a shot of Scotty and Pelia. They're on the surface of some world which looks like it has a bit of a zombie infestation going on. We've got a crashed shuttle in the background. We've got a whole bunch of kind of zombies approaching them from the rear there. We've got zombie hands coming out of the ground, holding a Starfleet a pad here. And it's looks like it might have some sort of Federation starship. It doesn't look like the Enterprise. On there, looks like a different kind of Federation starship class there on the pad, and the zombie hand is holding the pad. So I'm guessing this promotional photo featuring Pelia and Scotty is from the episode which we saw in the trailer, which kind of saw some Klingons with what looked like some sort of zombie type virus going on. So it would appear we've got an episode that has a zombie apocalypse kind of storyline to it this season. In our next photo here, we get Lan and Mbenga. They're on the surface of a city planet. There, you've got a couple of big moons in the background. We've got some sort of curved arched gateway with a glowing light behind it. Doesn't look like the Guardian of Forever, but, you know, or something sort of Stargate-esque perhaps. And we've also got the unconscious or perhaps dead body of a crewmate there, I think, in the background. We've got something that's obviously happened here in this mystery. Someone's been killed or injured or something. I don't recognise the person on the ground there in a collapsed state. In this next one, we get a shot of Spock and Chapel. They're on a very pretty pink looking planet with a bunch of kind of heart-shaped flowers, some mountains with some snow on them in the background. We've got a whole bunch of sort of some trees with some cherry blossoms on them. And we've got Chapel shedding a bit of a tear in this photo. So it seems like the whole love triangle situation between Spock and Chapel and Corby perhaps might be becoming a bit of an emotional situation between our cast members here, and Spock striking a bit of an action pose here in this photo. In this photo, we've got Uhura and Ortegas. Again, A lot of planets with multiple moons in these posters. We've got some hovering aliens with tentacled legs and arms and everything. We've got tentacles reaching out for them from them for the bottom of the frame. It sort of looks like a bit of a barren wasteland type planet here with these aliens on it, but we've also got some pretty pink flowers as well. So whether these images are just purely for promotional purposes or whether these are actually featuring imagery that we are likely to see in an episode this season has yet to be determined, but it kind of looks interesting. Now, I've also got a list of the episode titles for the season, which is interesting. Let's go through them. We've got episode 1, Hegemony Part 2, which obviously is going to be the conclusion to the season 2 finale episode. Hegemony featured the Gorn and the crew being abducted and everything, and it's obviously going to be the rescue operation to get the crew back from what happened at the end of season 2. Episode 2, Wedding Bell Blues. This one could be that episode we saw with everybody in sort of formal gear, maybe with the Federation anniversary, perhaps. We've got Patton Oswalt bearing flowers and things. I think maybe that's probably some imagery from this. Maybe this is also the one where we see Uhura chatting up this guy or whatever, which we saw in the teaser trailer. That would be my guess. Episode 3 is Shuttle to Kenfori. Guessing the fact that we saw that promo shot with the crashed shuttle and everything with Scotty and Pelia. Maybe this is the zombie apocalypse episode where they, crash land a shuttle on some planet with an infection and there's a whole bunch of zombified Klingons there. That would be my guess. Episode 4, Space Adventure Hour. I reckon this is the episode where we saw those shots with our cast members in a very 1960s styled, original Star Trek-esque costumes and, sort of that kitschy kind of 1960s sort of style sci-fi. Whether this is also the episode that we see Rhys Darby appear as Trelane or /Q type character. Maybe he snaps them into this kind of reality if obviously he's playing some hijinks. That would probably be my guess on this episode. Through the Lens of Time might be the callback to the old analog stuff, which we saw them using old-fashioned telephones and so forth in the trailer, perhaps. That's a bit of a callback, a bit of a retro callback, pardon the pun, with the use of the phones and everything on the Enterprise. Maybe that's episode 5. Episode 6, The Cell Hut Who Ate Its Tail. Well, we know Spock had a pet cellet when he was young. So this is going to be probably a Spock-centric episode. Maybe this is the kind of love triangle episode, perhaps, between Corby and Spock and Chapel, perhaps. What is Starfleet? Could be the Federation of the Anniversary episode. We know we saw celebrations to do with that. That could be potentially to do with that. That's kind of, Starfleet, the anniversary of Starfleet and the Federation, maybe. 4.5 Vulcans. Well, that's obviously our episode where we get the 4 human officers transformed into Vulcans in what we saw from the promo scene that came out a while back. Terrarium, I think, is probably going to be the holodeck episode. A terrarium is, obviously a little box with an environment in it and everything, which is kind of what a holodeck is. So I reckon Terrarium is the 1970s Hollywood murder mystery episode. New Life and New Civilizations. Well, anybody's guess, I think, for this one, because this pretty much sums up the whole notion of the show. So it could be an episode we haven't seen any visual imagery for. They could be holding off some stuff, potentially, for the show that we haven't seen through all the trailers and everything yet. So it may be something we haven't seen too much of for the last episode. And the last episode does tend to be a bit of a banger episode, so we could be in for a surprise for the last episode. And we've also got a synopsis of the season here, which reads as follows. In Season 3, when we reconnect with the crew of the USS Enterprise, still under the command of Captain Pike, they face the conclusion of Season 2's harrowing encounter with the Gorn, but new life and civilizations await, including a villain that will test our characters' grit and resolve, an exciting twist on classic Star Trek. Season 3 takes characters both new and beloved to new heights and dives into thrilling adventures of faith, duty, romance, comedy and mystery with varying genres never before seen on any other Star Trek. So we're up for a bit of a mixed bag this season of episode styles, it would seem, and they're taking some big swings narratively, it would seem, in this season. We obviously haven't got too long to wait for the show to air, a little bit over a month. On the 17th of July. And I can't wait to see what we're in for this new season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3. So what do you think about the lineup of episodes we've got coming for this upcoming season? What episode is your one you're most looking forward to? Leave your thought in the comment section. We'll get chatting about that. I think the episode I'm looking forward to seeing most maybe is the one where Rhys Darby guest stars. I'm very fascinated to know about whether he's going to be Trelane and whether he's going to, in fact, be confirmed that Trelane is part of the Q Continuum. I think that is the one I'm most curious about for this season. But let me know what your most anticipated episode is for this coming season. We'll get chatting about that. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to Sci-Finatics yet, be sure to do so. Click on that big subscribe button to stay current and up to date with all the latest Star Trek news on YouTube. And be sure to check out my merch in the merch store. Plenty of cool t-shirts and mugs and hoodies and caps and stickers and everything. Great designs, and you pick yourself up a bargain and help support the channel at the same time. I'll be back pretty soon with my next video. I'll see you guys soon.